And hello, everyone, and welcome to Learn a Trade. My name is Kevin Tate, and I'm glad to be here with you today. Hope everyone is well. Today's broadcast is titled Bunn Dual Brewer Hot Water Faucet Repair. So this particular job came up because there was another contractor out in this area, and he did some work on this location's coffee brewer, and unfortunately he didn't really have all of the parts he needed and stuff like that. He didn't have the proper hot water tube for the faucet that connects to the faucet. So I was called out and I got to the site and I noticed a few things, wrong with the repair, and I went ahead and corrected them. And I just wanted to share this this video with you of me replacing the hot water tube for the hot water faucet, and then I'm also replacing the seat cup for the faucet itself. The seat cup was damaged, and I'll show you that in the video. So right here, just to catch it right from the beginning there, if you notice, the first tube, it's like a beverage tubing that you see, and then you see the tube is inside of it. But if you notice, what they have holding the tube on, they just use wire ties, and I never advised to use wire ties as a permanent fix. Something, if you had to do it temporary, that would be fine, but this was supposed to be permanent. But I noticed that there was a little leakage from the back side of that tube there, and then it was dripping down onto the base of this area, and down on the base underneath this tube is the main power switch, and there's nothing covering that switch. So water leaked down onto that switch. And it was fortunate that it didn't damage anything, but I did notice that water had fell onto the switch, and sooner or later it would have shorted out, but luckily it didn't. So I'm just going to be going over the basic changes that I made. I ended up replacing this whole tube. I used the plastic tube, the plastic tubing that they have. I used that, and I just replaced the tube, the hot water tube, and then I ended up cutting back this the backside line because it was a little long, so I had to cut it to fit the new tube that I put in. So we'll be taking a look at this today. I'm just kind of getting everything set up with the camera and stuff like that. But here, as you can see, just to be clear, I'm taking a little a little shortcut on this repair, just because time is I'm like really swamped on this day with work. So I with this one here, this repair, I took a little shortcut. I usually will drain the tank down at least below the water line of the faucet outlet tube. Uh, you can see I have my clamping that tube, so I'm clamping the faucet tube to keep the water from flowing out, and then I'm going to end up cutting that tube back also. So I just wanted to let you know that. So I am taking a little shortcut. I don't advise it for everybody. I mean, it's just, when things really get going, you just gotta, take your chance and, get through the repair so you can move on to the next one. But safety is first, so just keep that in mind too. But usually what I do is I would drain the hot water down so that it's below this outlet water line from the tank, and then that way you won't be in danger of any hot water splashing out. Just showing you right there that I clamped off that outlet line. Right now I'm going to get that outlet line disconnected. I'm just loosening up the clamp that's on there. I'm putting on my gloves because the sides where you put your hands, where I'm putting my hands in, the sides of those panels, that panel right there is very sharp. So you want to be careful with that. So I just threw some gloves on, just a little protection against the sharp edges on that in that area. Okay, I got the front tube loose. As you can see, those wire ties are on there. I'm just putting the line aside so I can kind of set up the new tube. I still got a little dripping going on, but as you can see down below, I placed a rag down there to kind of catch the drips. Now I'm getting that front tube back in place, and I'm using an Oetiker clamp. This is a size 17 Oetiker clamp that I'm using to clamp that down instead of using a wire tie. As you can see, it's a little tight area to get your clamps in there, but they can fit, and then you just squeeze down on the Oetiker clamp, and then you got a good secure connection there. Nothing's going to leak through that. So I got that in secured, and now I'm going to just work on getting that other end secured. So I'm just working on getting that tube back out, and then I'm gonna slide that front end of the tube into the back end of that plastic tube. Usually these kits in the original machine, this is how I could tell there's been a lot of work on this machine, but usually instead of the plastic coupling there, usually it's a stainless or a brass coupling, and they're on both ends of the tube. But in this case, for some reason that was removed, so I went ahead and used what I had available there. And the whole issue with this call was that they weren't getting any water out of the faucet. When people would pull for hot water out of that faucet, nothing was coming out. And there's another reason for that also. So we'll be able to go through that in a few. Just give me a moment. Okay, so now I'm getting that front end of the tube into the back end of the coupling. And then I'm going to get that clamped down, and then I'm going to work on the back end, getting the back end adjusted and clamped down also. As you can see, that tube has like some rings around the center, and they have the aluminum tape over it. That's the heater. And there's two wires that will connect later on once I get the tube connected. And those wires send power to that coil. And that's what keeps the water that's sitting in that tube. That heater keeps that water just as hot as it is coming out of the tank. So right now I'm about to secure this Oetiker clamp on the other end of that coupling, and then that front section will be all set. And right now I'm gonna start working on measuring up that tube with the outlet line of the from the hot water tank. I'm gonna have to cut it back some and then adjust and make sure that it has a good fit where it's not crimping the tube or anything like that. Right now I'm just putting on the plastic clamp that came with the system. Okay, and now I'm just working on getting that back end of the outlet tube connected to the hot water tube. Now I'm just using my 90-degree needle nose pliers to move that clamp and squeeze that clamp. It's a little easier with the needle nose to get a good squeeze on the clamp to make sure it's tight enough. So now that heater tube is in place and it's secure, and right now I'm just feeding the wires through because those will have to connect to the to the power, and then that'll send power to those heaters. And that's the heater connection right there. Just going to feed those through and move them to the left over on the power side of the panel. So now the system is all set. Now I'm just going to show you, this is what the original issue was, that they weren't getting any water when they pull the handle. And that's due to the seat cup being bad. Right now I'm just taking off the handle cap. I forgot to pinch off my line because remember, I still use that shortcut, and you're going to see in a few moments sometimes those shortcuts cause problems. But right now I'm explaining because the manager was asking me what was wrong. So I'm just explaining to him that the seat cup, which is what I was pointing at, and then now I'm telling them that the heater was bad and the seat cup is bad, damaged. So I'm showing them right now how that seat cup had gotten damaged from the pulling of the hot water handle, and over time it lets go, and then the little piece that clamps on to that plunger, the handle, the plunger of the handle, that little plastic piece that clamps on to it, that's it right there, and that's what pulled off. That pulled off of the seat cup itself. That little plastic piece that clamps to there, that pulled right off. So yes, I had to show him how that happened, and that seat cup has probably been in there for since the machine was installed. So over time, from the heat and the water, those seat cups, the silicone seat cup, they let go. So that's why I'm showing them, how that looks, and that way he can tell, like, it pulled off of that plunger there. The silicone pulled right off of it, and right now you see I have a little water coming out, so I have to reclamp that line because I didn't get it tight enough. But you see how that water just squirt out? You have to be careful because that water is like over 200 degrees. So right there, I was just showing you the inside of that seat cup, and I'm putting on the new seat cup. I'm just showing you right now the part number for that seat cup. That's a basic item that you would want to keep on your work van or your work truck, just to have those, because you do get calls where that comes up. So these seat cups, they basically just press in. You have to push them in, and then you'll hear them clip into. Yeah, you'll hear them just clip right into place. I'm just making sure I got it nice and secure, and then I can put that cap back on, disconnect my pinch off clamp. Just give it a little nudge and make sure it's tight enough and secure so it's not going to fall off. So the handle's all set. I'm disconnecting my pinch offs. And then there we go, nice flow of water. And I just tested a few times just to make sure that it's opening correctly and closing correctly. Nice flow of water. That's what you want. Some of those, when they do it after a while, if they haven't been cleaned, if they haven't been PM'd, they build up water deposits inside, and it really slows down the flow of water. Right now, I'm just putting in the screws and basically buttoning everything up. Just adjusting the camera a little bit and finishing up putting on those screws. There's about between 8 to 10 screws on there. I forget. There's six on the sides. There's one in the top middle, and then there's 4 down below. And I'm putting on that electrical panel, putting that back on, and then I'll put on my center panel and secure that. And right there, that's the main power button, that white label. That's the main power button. And right now the unit's filling back up from the water that was released, and it's back in operation. Now I can just give it another test just to make sure I still got a good flow of water coming out. Still good. Still good. Good to go. And that's about it for that one. I hope this was helpful to you. I hope that you were able to understand everything. And if not, feel free to please leave a comment and let me know if you have any questions on this process, and let me know how you liked it. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate you for watching. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you on the next one.